today's project, I'm going to attempt to put the air-fuel ratio and boost gauge up here. I spent the last few weeks gathering parts and getting everything kind of prepped, so I should be ready. I want to also remove this. I got a new steering column cover. So, all right, so this is everything kind of prepped. It looks like a mess, but trust me, it's a little bit more organized than it looks. Instead of the plastic tubing, I ran this copper tubing. Figured this actually will hold its shape a little better. And also, the plastic tubing seemed a little rigid and it didn't want to actually go around bends at all. So got that all set up. I got this this little thing where you can add a joint. You know, it just plugs right into the fuse panel. I got my ground, this whole set of wires. One of these goes to the like a light switch, which right now there's a light switch running to the existing gauge, the existing boost gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just run this in line to that. And the other one, which is the big ball of spaghetti here, that one's actually going to run to the ECU. There's supposed to be a circuit that, or a set of wires that goes to the O2 sensor. I think it's pin 76. So I'm going to actually use one of these just to tap into that pin 76. Alright, so my goal is to tuck all the wiring and the actual vacuum hose inside between these two panels. Run it all the way down here, up and across, and to all the areas that I need to go to. Alright, so I'm still trying to work on this area here. Made just basically like a little rubber piece that kind of covers up the copper, so that it's not as noticeable. But unfortunately right now it's still trying to, like the lines themselves are still trying to overlap the dashboard a little bit to the point where it doesn't want to sit completely down all the way. But I'm still working on that. So for the air-fuel ratio gauge, for the power, it does suggest going to a fused power source. So I got an inline fuse right here, and I don't know if I can get this in here, but they have those add-a-link circuits where it basically just plugs right into the fuse panel. So I don't know if I can get my finger in here, but here's the added link for the ground. For the ground, right now I just have it grounded right to here, underneath by the fuse panel. I'll see if that's good enough. I might have to move it to another spot. Gauge seems to be working here. Not noticing any leaks or anything yet. Actually do have a little bit of leak, so I'm gonna tighten that up. Alright, so I got the vacuum line run. I have the ground all set. I have the power supply for the air-fuel ratio set. Next thing I'm gonna do, I still have to run one wire to the light switch, and that purple wire I need to run all the way up underneath the passenger side, underneath the glove box, to pin 47. And that's what's actually going to give the air-fuel ratio gauge the signal for whether or not it's running rich or lean. One thing I'm debating is, while I have it out, I might take these 3 screws out, pull that gauge cluster out, and possibly do the gauge overlays while I'm at it. Kind of debating whether I should do that right now or not. I haven't tested the gauge overlays. I've had them for several years. there's a good chance that maybe they're not exactly in perfect working condition. So I would really like to test it first before trying to install them, and then find out after. I can test them with a 12-volt battery, but for now I'm going to run this black wire here. I'm going to run to the light switch on off switch, and then this purple wire I got to feed all the way underneath the dash over to the passenger side. So hopefully everything goes as to plan. Everything is run as far as the power, ground, the vacuum hose is connected. So right now the boost gauge does show up. It does light up when I turn the lights on. The final part that I need to do, which is the most fun one, is underneath the dashboard, right up under here, there's the ECU, and I need to tap into the number 47 circuit. So that's not going to be easy, but once I splice this into it, should be all set. I'm going to try to just use one of these. I know these aren't necessarily the best thing to use, but in this case I think it should work. We'll find out. Alright, so I got everything hooked up. Air fuel ratio gauge, yeah, it's there. It's doing something, but it's not quite working so well. Alright, so the final part is I got a replacement steering column cover. Of course, the original one has a screw, or two screws bolted through it for the original boost gauge, and as soon as I put that back in, hopefully everything will be back together and functional. Boost gauge, I'm still not sure what exactly, or the air fuel ratio gauge, I'm still not really sure what's going on with that, why it's bouncing around. It could be something like a bad O2 sensor maybe, I'm not really sure. But unfortunately, even though it looks like it's sunny, it's actually starting to rain. So I'm going to put the steering column piece back on and then probably call it a day. Well, at least everything is assembled. For the power source, I ended up going to the 12-volt switch power from the ECU. The fuse panel, I thought I would be able to get power from there, but apparently all those fuse panel circuits are dead. There's nothing going to them. I'm guessing, again, if you had the, what is it, the SSC or whatever SSL package, then you would have probably had a fuse or something in that location. But I mean, overall it's not horrible. It's not as good as I expected, but the boost gauge does light up. The air fuel ratio gauge, I still will have to kind of figure out what's going on with that. I got a feeling that the O2 sensor may have an issue with it, or maybe it's not even plugged in or barely plugged in or something. I don't know. But either way, I'll figure it out. I will be getting my new throttle body in, well, at least the idle screw for my throttle body, hopefully on Tuesday, and I'm going to switch out that throttle body at that point too. I don't know if the idle issue will be kind of resolved with that. That's what I'm hoping. But it is a 70 millimeter throttle body, so it is an upgrade. But I'm going to continue to kind of clean this all up and call it a day. So thank you again for watching. If you guys want to see more, subscribe, like, comment, and if you want, share the videos with other people if you think anyone else might be interested. I try to do these videos again just to kind of document all the work that I do on each car. I've had several cars in the past that I've done a lot of work to, a lot of customizing on, and then down the road when I go to sell it, I'm trying to remember all the stuff that I did. So I figured this was a good way of documenting everything. So anyways, thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time.